So today we have a presentation of our title company. Red Square Title is back and stronger, and there is so many beautiful faces today that I want to introduce. And this title company is for us guys, and they have the best rates, best services, and I encourage you to work with this title company. It always will be people in this title company answering your questions, your concerns, helping you to close a deal successfully. And I'll personally will be involved in that, but at the same time we'll have a great team of lawyers who are Americans, Russians, Spanish speaking, all backgrounds that you feel comfortable in your title company. So let me open the floor and ask Sydney, Stephanie, I'm sorry, Stephanie, to introduce and make a presentation about Red Square Title. Please, Stephanie.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing today?
Fantastic.
That's right. So, as Ramon stated, we are multilingual. We also have a law firm, and that's my primary role. I'm an attorney. I've been an attorney for about 5 years. And Ilya, as you can see here, Ilya Pachinsky, PA, he's been an attorney, I think, in the neighborhood of 7 or 8 years, primarily focusing on real estate. So, first I want to thank Ramon for having us, and thank you all for coming. I know everyone is busy, and I should have changed it from lunch and learn to champagne and learn, but I had some court this morning, so I got pulled a little late today. So the real question is, what are you guys going to learn about today? Okay. You're going to learn how Red Square Title can help you on your day-to-day, and you're going to learn how Ilya Pachinsky, PA can help you on your day-to-day, not just as realtors or members of the community, but as moms, as dads, as homeowners, as soccer coaches, okay? And what I'm hoping that you do today is you leave here knowing that we can help you. Right? We're the ones that you can turn to for all your title questions, and we're the ones that you can turn to for all your closing questions and your legal questions, real estate or otherwise. Okay? I want to introduce our Red Square Title team. I'm the attorney that would come in if everything sort of goes awry, but the day-to-day people that you're going to see here at Red Square are going to be Ilya. He's actually sick today. He's the owner, operator, and attorney. I can provide you guys a picture of Ilya if you want to know what he looks like. That way you can say hello if he's ever here. And then next is the co-owner, Sergio. Sergio is this handsome man. Sergio, and if you guys don't know, our office is right there in the corner, right across from the big printer. Okay? You're very often going to see Sergio in that office. You'll see me here probably once or twice a week. And if you have any questions about what we call TLC, right? Title, legal, closing, come talk to us about it. Even if it's the silliest of questions, come ask us. Because what you don't want to happen is down the road to end up in litigation because you didn't ask a simple question. Okay? And then another member of our team is Helena.
Hi.
We got here. She's our office manager. You're also going to see her. So just keep those in mind. Ilya, Helena, and Sergio. Those are the people you're going to see in your day-to-day around here. Stop them asking questions. We are the easiest people to get a hold of. Okay? It's just not difficult. You know, I don't have any complaints with my clients that I can't get a hold of Stephanie. Okay? The legal team, Ilya Pachinsky, PA. You have Ilya. Like I said, he's sick. You have me. A brief background of who I am is I've been litigating for about 5 years. Litigation means a lawsuit. So when you're in court and you're fighting because somebody gets upset and sues somebody else. I have a lot of trial experience, what you see on TV, when people are in court and there's a jury. I probably had a couple hundred hours in the courtroom just at trials. And I take a case from its inception or the beginning all the way through appellate levels in Supreme Courts. Okay? So I really come in as the muscle when things go wrong. And my team here comes in when we're trying to make sure nothing goes wrong from the beginning, which is what we call the transactional side. My main focus is real estate law. There's two main arms of real estate law. Transactional, which is what you guys do. You buy, you sell, you trade, you do all the paperwork, closings, title work. Okay? All of those questions we can answer, and all those questions these folks at the Red Square Title Company can answer. Okay? And then there's the lawsuits or the litigation. And that's in the courthouse, what I was talking about earlier. And we'll get a little bit more into how we can help you with both of those areas of law later in the presentation. Also, something I want you guys to know about both Red Square Title and the Torchinsky Law Firm is that we speak Russian, English, Swedish, Finnish, Spanish. Am I missing anything? French? I'm not sure, but I Google Translate, so maybe French. So we, with the wide diversity that we have down here in South Florida, we're able to accommodate and make sure that people feel comfortable. We have an extensive support staff. One of those is here, Susana. Susana is here in her capacity as Ilyas, and she saw him earlier today, and that she wanted to say a couple of remarks on behalf of Ilyas.
Hey, nice to meet you, everyone. Thank you for coming here. I'm legal assistant of Ilya Trochinsky, and you're going to call me if you will have any questions about first title or everything and BI cases. And if you will have any questions, if your customer will have any water damages or pipe damages, anything at home, we're handling that too. Me and Galina, we're going to answer to your phone calls, and if you will need any help, just give me a call. Thank you so much.
And I'll tell you all that Susana keeps our office running, right? I do the very, very hard taxing work, but if it weren't for Susana and Helena and Sergio and our other support staff, we'd be out of business. So from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all you guys do for us. As well, including our support staff, if it's not an area law that we practice, I don't do DUIs, I don't do divorce, okay? But it's important that you reach out to an attorney that's good at what they do, so that you're not just Googling someone that's gonna take your money and run. Come to us with all of your legal questions, and then what we can do from there is we can give you to someone who's good, who's gonna have your best interest at heart and is the best and most capable at handling those matters. The Ilya Trochinsky offices are here. This is our Sunny Isles office in the corner, because we run the satellite law office out of it. And then we have an office in Biscayne. I sometimes work out of the Broward satellite office. So we're covered. We can handle all closings in the state of Florida, and we handle legal matters across the U.S. Okay, because we team up with some of those attorneys that we know in other states. So how can Red Square Title help you? That's question number one, right? So Red Square Title can help you by you designating Red Square Title as your escrow agent. Now I'm going to start floating around a contract. All of you should know what this is. If you don't, please take an extra hard look. It's a real estate contract. This is a form real estate contract. There's nothing special about it, okay? But what I've done is I've highlighted where you would input Red Square Title into the contract, okay? So tab 1, page 1, paragraph 2, and you'll see here, this is where you would put the information for Red Square Title, okay? And this is Red Square Title as the escrow agent. That's different than Red Square Title as the closing agent, and I'll explain that to you guys in a down somewhere between 5 and 20% generally, and we can hold that escrow. And that escrow will be held until there's a disbursement at closing, or until the deal falls through. And if the deal falls through and then we're fighting over escrows, that's where the attorney comes into play. Okay? So that's where you put us on page 1. You'll see it as that floats around. If you guys want me to get more copies of that and I can show it to you where it's highlighted, I can email that to you, no problem. The second way that Red Square Title can help you, and this is perhaps the most important, and escrow agent and closing title agent work hand in glove, is you need to designate us as your closing agent, okay? Designating us as your closing agent is very simple, and this is all the information. You do have it in the cards, and of course, I understand this has been emailed to you guys. You have the hard copies, and you can always pop your head in. The way that you designate us as the closing agent, which means we take care of all the title work, and then we can close in the conference room right here. Right, Ramon? Yeah, we can close in the conference room right beside the office. This is, I believe, page 3 at the bottom. It's the second tab on that contract that's floating around. There are 2 boxes. Can everybody see those boxes? This is really important, okay? Box number 1 is if you represent the seller, then you're going to click box number 1. It says seller picks closing agent. If you represent the buyer, you're going to click box number 2. Buyer designates closing agent, okay? And what this does is that most of the time we're not dealing with sophisticated buyers and sellers. The buyers and sellers are going to take your advice as to who should be the title company. And the pitch is easy. It's Red Square Title handles almost all, if not exclusively, all the matters for Red Square Realty. It's a one-stop shop. You go from your realtor here to Red Square Title that's 50 feet away, and you can have all your matters taken care of, including the closing under one roof. Okay? It's a matter of convenience for them. It works every time. So that's how you speak to your client about how to use Red Square Title as the title company. okay? There are designations in Broward, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beach as to who generally picks the closing agent, okay? But a contract is just that. You get to pick your terms. So if you represent the buyer and you talk to everyone in the closing, in the contract, and they all agree the buyer can pick, even though you're in Miami-Dade where the sellers normally pick, all you have to do is click the box. It's that simple, folks. It's really that simple. Click the box, okay? The second place that you can insert where Red Square Title is the closing agent, after you click the box, is you'll see there's additional terms. A lot of times these additional terms are things that deal with the property inspection or maybe where the earnest money is being placed if it's bifurcated between two Red Square agents. But what you can also put is Red Square Title is the closing agent. And then you can put our email, fax, phone number, and address. Or you can just attach a card. Okay, that card can be photocopied onto this. Anything to make sure that what is designated is that we're here to help you. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't think that we were good at what we do. We are. I've been practicing, I've been doing this for a long time. I've handled probably hundreds of closings, from short sales to regular closings to 1041 exchanges. So that's how you can input Red Square Title as the closing agent to ensure that we are sending the Red Square Realty business over to Red Square Title. So now I'm going to flip over to, yes.
Why wouldn't I select Miami-Dade property?
Here? What? So tell me where you're saying this. Here? Why wouldn't you?
Miami-Dade property.
Because right here, what you're doing is you're selecting either, you have to select, I have to read this bottom part. What generally happens with Miami-Dade is that sellers pick in Miami-Dade and Broward buyers pick. That's usually what that refers to, but remember this is a contract. And with any contract, not just real estate contracts, but all of them in your entire life, you can write the terms. You can negotiate the terms. That's the purpose of a contract. So if you can get the other side to agree, click the box and then everybody can move on. Okay. So turning more to the litigation, remember I discussed that there's a transactional side of the law and then there's a litigation side of the law. This is transactional. And the transactional side is really where Red Square Title and the law firm work together. Okay? And where Red Square Title and the law firm work together are in these areas. And that's really what your handout is about. So when you guys thumb through your handout, it's a menu card. It's a list of items that we regularly see in our real estate practice. It's also got a price list. So if you're speaking to your clients, you can say Ilya Chachinsky, PA, and Stephanie at that office. That's generally what we're going to charge for those things. And you have English, Russian, and Spanish. So if you need another language, I can get with Susana to get any other language that y'all need. You're probably familiar with a lot of these transactional items because you do them, right? You're involved in getting someone to the table and getting a contract in place. And so I'm not going to touch on every single one of them, but I do want to highlight a couple of pointers when you're dealing with certain of these. So with review of real estate contracts, it's okay, it happens. So when a review of real estate contracts, what's important here is that maybe you're trying to add an exception, or in that additional terms, you're trying to say that buyers got to bring, or sellers got to bring to the table an extra $10,000 because the property inspection showed some defects. Okay, you need to make sure that you're putting the exact correct language into the contract to make sure that your client is protected. Believe me, words matter. Okay, in the legal word, where you put a comma, where you put a semicolon, whether you put the word or and, it matters. Okay, I have $200,000 in law school loans learning what commas and semicolons and ors and ands are. Okay, so it's easy to get a hold of me. If you have a question about how you should be stating something, call me. It's a 3-minute conversation. I can say, I suggest that you put buyer does this or seller does that. Okay, and what it's going to do is it's going to make sure that your contract's airtight, because we don't use normal layman's terms when we're talking about contracts, because what ends up happening is when it comes to me down the road, because I'm in court, I can only rely on that language in that contract. And so we want to make sure that that language is perfect. Okay? You guys are, I'm sure, intimately familiar with buyers and seller documents. If you're dealing with that or closings, please hunt down Sergio and hunt down Helena, and they will answer all your questions, and they can always get me on the phone if they have any questions about the legal ramifications of any specific item. I'm going to sort of touch on deed transfers and notes and mortgages together. Okay, so a deed transfer is different than a buy or sell, right? Mom just wants to give to kid without having to go through an entire closing. Happens all the time, right? It's not all that complicated to do these things, but you need the correct language for what mom wants. Sometimes mom just wants to give it to her son. Sometimes mom wants to live in the property and she'll give it to her son when she passes. And those are different, that's different language. We're going to go back to those contracts, right? It's different language that we need to make sure that we're getting in there appropriately so that your client's needs are being met. Notes and mortgages, we'll use the same mom, son. Let's say son's buying a property, doesn't want to get the money or the lending from PNC or from SunTrust or from Bank of America. He wants to get it from mom. I mean, who doesn't want to get a loan from their mom? So we're not going to use our traditional closing methods in that way. What we're going to end up doing is we can write the note and mortgage, right? It's 3-page documents each, and make sure that mom's protected, son's protected, but then you're not going through all the financing that needs to be gone through when you're dealing with a traditional lending institution like of a Bank of America. Short sale negotiations, loan modifications. Because I deal extensively in the foreclosure and litigation world, and this has fallen into my lap. Something that I do on a day-to-day basis is negotiating these short sales and loan modifications. The short sale process, again, you're going to be dealing with Red Square Title a lot if you have a deal that's going to be a short sale. And if you have loan modification negotiations, be it yourself or family members or friends, give me a call. I work with the banks on a day-to-day basis. Now the second half, remember, outside the courtroom, transactional, inside the courtroom, lawsuits. Traditional lawsuits that I see in the real estate world, also on your menu card. Escrow disputes. We talked about designating Red Square Title as your escrow agent, okay? Let's say that deal falls through, there's $100,000 just sitting in the escrow account. How do we disperse it? Well, that's when the escrow dispute comes into play. And I'm very good at dealing with sophisticated and complicated settlements with those escrow disputes or taking it all the way to lawsuit. I was in a lawsuit recently with, I think it was $1 million property, so I think it was $250 down. And our claim was that buyer breached because we represented seller. And you just have to find those niche ways that you can make the contract work for you. And over that kind of money, we weren't going to settle. So we went to litigation, judge agreed with us. And I think just December, so the end of this year, my client got his money back. So sometimes it takes a little while, but $250,000 is not chump change. So we want to make sure that our clients are taken care of. Foreclosure, I think everyone in the room knows what a foreclosure is. Just understand that there are multiple lien holders that can foreclose, not just the bank. Okay. Also, this is homeowners association or your condo association, and they are quick and they are fast. So if you have someone that has a condo association issue or a homeowners association issue, they cannot wait. They need to contact me immediately because I will tell you an HOA and a COA will foreclose you out of your house in 6 months. A bank, 2 years. HOA, COA, quarter that time. Okay? Motions to cancel foreclosure sale. Usually you guys are only going to see this with short sales. Say you're trying to work a short sale on the title side and a sale's coming up. So your client needs that sale canceled to be able to continue to pursue the short sale. Okay? And if that happens, give me a call. The rate's right here on the menu card. We can take care of motions to cancel foreclosure sale. In the Tri-County area, I can appear, and anywhere else in Florida, I can make sure that we have someone that we know and trust go. The last two, deficiency is when you've already been foreclosed out and the bank's still seeking money from you. This is a relatively new area of law, and I'm in the process of writing an article about to sort of teach other attorneys how to practice this. And it's something where a bankruptcy can potentially help, or if you have someone that's had a foreclosure in the past that maybe is still dealing with issues, have them give me a call. Last, ejectment. You guys have probably heard people move into properties. They're called squatters. Have you guys heard of the word squatter? Okay. So they move into a property. They don't actually own it. They're not really supposed to be there, but they are. And if you want to remove someone from a property who's not supposed to be there, but you do not have a lease with them, we file an ejectment. And then the last main area that you're going to see on your menu card is landlord-tenant disputes. Okay? This is a smaller area of our practice, but it's still vital. From your perspective, I would imagine if you guys have relationships with property managers or project managers, or if you have investment properties that you're renting, this is when we're going to come into play here. Escrow deposit disputes, sort of self-explanatory. Security deposit that the landlord doesn't want to give back. There are very strict statutory time periods and timelines that must be followed, and you have to act quickly. So if something's happening, give us a call. Evictions, self-explanatory, but understand that if done properly, an eviction can happen within 45 days, beginning to end, as opposed to evictions that take a year because no one's doing the work on the file. It's called a summary procedure, it's quick. And then lease disputes is a contract issue. So those are the main areas of the real estate law that we deal with. And we talked about the main ways that Red Square Title can help you. Remember, we need to be the escrow agent, we need to be the closing agent. And then to wrap it up, and you do see it on your menu card, is our other practice areas. This is not something that, these are other practice areas in the sense that we handle these. It's not something that we do the majority of, but I handle chapter 7 to 13 bankruptcies. It's probably 10% of my practice. Probably 90% of Ilya's practice is personal injury, and that's where Susana comes in. So that's car accident, dog bite, slip and fall, and any number of those issues. Someone falls in Publix. Ilya, who's not here, and he's sorry that he's not here, is probably the best Russian attorney out there.
And actually, everybody have his card, so if anything, just give us a call. And
Right,
we can
and-
help you with that.
Right, and if you're not sure that you have a case, or you're not sure exactly what question you have to ask, just call and talk to us. Okay, we're very easy to get a hold of. Susanna knows how to get a hold of me 24/7, and we can either say, "Don't worry about it; it's nothing to be concerned about," or "Look, this is a real issue. Let's guide you this direction or guide you that direction." Debt issues deal with the bankruptcy, and then appeals. Understand that if you lose at the trial court level, which is the level down here, you have a right to fight it at the next level, and that's called an appeal, and we handle those as well. So I'm just going to leave up a slide that has our contact information. I know you have it. Why I field any questions, any title questions, any legal questions. I'm sure y'all deal with matters every day that you're like, man, I wish I just had someone's phone number that I could call and ask. Well, I'm the person that you can call and ask. Ilya, Susana, Sergio, Helena. Okay? So does anyone have any questions? Don't be shy. It's not possible to be
Okay,
shy.
I have a question.
Go on,
Sometimes the agent thinks that if you put the title company on the first page, there is escrow agent. That means it's a title company, but it doesn't, right?
No.
And that was a couple times misunderstanding and here with my agent. So I want one more time to underline, guys. So on the first page, we have a title agent. And title agent can be escrow agent can be the title company. But it does not mean that they will be the closing agent. So always make sure when you are selecting, who is selecting a title closing agency, make sure that you select our title company and how we can make it. There is the place that Stephanie was explaining that the seller selects title company or the buyer selects title company. If you represent seller, make sure the seller selects. If you represent buyer, make sure the buyer selects the title company. And this title company needs to be a Red Square title. I recommend you. So if you just make it, because that was a couple times issue. People put the first page for the escrow title company, and they assume it would be a closing title, and at the end it was like two agencies working and then messing this stuff.
Yes, thank you, Ramon. So it's not uncommon that we deal with that. It's not uncommon that someone fills out page 1 and actually doesn't click a box. So you guys are in good company, but to make sure that we're doing it all properly, remember that escrow agent and closing agent are they have two different roles, okay? Escrow agent is just holding the earnest money. You see dollar signs here? That's because you're going to insert, whether it's 5%, 10%, 20%. You're just a conduit to hold funds dependent upon closing. But in order to designate, go ahead.
Is the charge for title company just holding the money?
What ends up happening is designating Red Square Title as the closing agent is where the fees of closing costs come into play. And the fees of closing costs vary, but there's a title policy, there's title insurance, those kind of things. But just holding the funds No, and it's not our recommendation and it's not our request that you just put Red Square Title as the escrow company. It's because it all works together, and that's what we're really trying to do. We're trying to get you guys to work with us, and we're trying to make sure that we're available to work for you. Okay? So, escrow agent role is just to hold the money, right? Closing agent, so you need to click the box, and then on the last page, the additional terms solidify that Red Square Title can help. Any other questions?
I just want to put some additional information that Ilya and we invested and we have an app. So sometimes people asking me how much it will cost to me, you know, and they don't know. And that's like a great answer on your question. You can download the app. See, that's a closing cost, right? App's name is closing cost. You go into the Apple Store, right? Closing cost. You can go right now, guys. Right now, take your phones and go there. It's free of charge. You download the app in your phone, and you have a Red Square Title in your iPhone, in your Android, whatever you have. So let's say somebody is asking you, what's your title company's cost, and what kind of breakdown? You know, sometimes which part is taken care by the seller and which part is taken care by the buyer. So just download this app. It's a closing cost. It looks like this white house in the blue. Okay? And you see, closing cost, Red Square Title. You see this icon? That's we. And after it goes to the calculation, and it's simple. Purchase price, mortgage amount. If there is no mortgage amount, 0. Lender charges, real estate commission. That's it. And press. Let's say plate with a $1 million cash. Because I like $1 million cash.
We're gonna find it.
You gonna find it? Okay, technical question after to Sergey. That's okay, so
Closing
anyway, I'm putting here $1
cost
million,
Florida.
1, 2, 3. Okay, and the mortgage amount, there is no, 0 mortgage. Real estate commission, okay, it's 6%, right? And done. Calculate. See, it's in details, shows me who is responsible for what and what's the closing cost. So the settlement fee, it's a $595 flat. So this company is taking very cheap settlement fee, $595. And after it depends on the taxes, etc., some small stuff that anyway you need to pay. But what's great about it, Roger, is that you have that in your iPhone, and that's Miami Red Square Title, and you can calculate the expenses. You can email that to your client, Roger, and your client can see that when you email to them, what kind of charges and who is responsible for which side. So it's very, very comfortable tool for you guys to have. And again, we invested in this app, so you have it as your consultant, as your helper in order to be successful and in order to answer the questions even without calling. But if something complicated, you have like an amazing team of lawyers and people that you can call, consult, come here, and we'll take care of your problems, and we'll be really happy with the service. Okay?
And thank you, Ramon. And to dovetail into what Ramon was saying, it's just another reason why we're accessible. We're accessible in an app, we're accessible on email, we're accessible on phone. Just give us a call. Let us have a chance to prove to you that we can do everything that you need to do from your title issues through any real estate issues. And like I said, even if you have any other legal matters, like a divorce or a DUI, come to us. We can get you to the attorney that you can really trust and appreciate. So does anyone else have any questions?
So what is your direct affiliation with Red Square Realty?
Red Square
Red
Realty.
Square Title is what?
Red Square Title is the title company with Red Square Realty. So Ilya and Ramon, and you might, and
Roman.
Roman, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
I like actually his name.
Ilya said-
Make a little
That's how Ilya
Argentinian.
That's how Ilya says it with his Russian accent.
I
So,
like it. So call me Ramon.
it's never good. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's all right.
I like it.
I'm Sydney, so. So that's the relation is that we're in the corner, we're handling your title in the corner. What our hope is for everyone here at Red Square Realty, the relation between the law firm and Red Square Title is that Ilya is the co-owner. and then I'll be answering legal questions and doing legal-related closing documents or whatever's needed for the title company. And then, of course, I'm an attorney at the firm.
But you're still a standalone entity?
Pursuant to the Florida Division of Corporations, yes. We have to be. Any other questions?
So guys, we have amazing team. Stephanie, Sergey, Halina, Susanna, Ilya, and I'm also always here. Ramon. So let's congratulate the opening again, the Red Square title. Okay. Stephanie got the first one. She was in the short.
That's right. I can drive.
Do you have the app for Android also?
Okay, guys, now let's have a glass of champagne.
I actually did that. Where's that picture?
Sergey, help me.
I was always told.
Serve the champagne.